there are times that we're in circumstances that it like increases our emotions to where certain people or certain things that people do just really annoy us in a way that had they done it, if we weren't increased in our emotions right now due to circumstances that were going on, um, it wouldn't bother us so much and we would have a little bit more self-control. But right now, because of other things that are going on, we tend to react. Or no, let me rephrase that. The annoying part kind of gets to us to a point that we want to react. And sometimes we will end up reacting. And I remember this happening to me a couple of years ago. I was in a situation, and my emotions were strongly increased at that time. And there was a lot of things going on too. It wasn't just that. I had started a new job, and a lot of change had happened in my life along with this increased emotions. And so this one person kept coming to me and saying things that really just bothered me. And finally one day we ended up having words. And when I reflected back on it after it happened, and I went back and I reflected on it, at first I didn't want to admit it. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't want to admit what was really going on. I just, automatically, they are the problem. They are they shouldn't have done that. Now I shouldn't have done this, but they shouldn't have done that. It was like they carried most of the weight to the conflict. But as I processed it, and thought about it just a little bit, I realized that what was truly going on was God allowed it to happen because he was trying to get some hate in me out. And I say, maybe yours isn't hate, but mine was. I had a lot of anger and hate that I had like kind of stuffed down, so nobody could see it. And I carried a big old smile, and, everything was peachy and great. But deep down, God knew what was going on. So at that time, he wanted me to address what was going on. And so he allowed my emotions to increase and the conflict to arise to show me. And it was a turning point because it made me see myself for who I was. And it also made me see how I was not being who I wanted to be at that time for the people in my life and for the people around that were watching. And so it kind of made me really reevaluate and have the desire to want to address those anger issues that were going on in me. And today at church, I'm just going to throw this in because it wasn't really a part of it. But today at church, one of the things that were talked about was how God has a conditional will. And the conditional will is he's going to allow something to happen no matter what. He doesn't care what you think, if you want to be a part of it or anything. You either will join him or you won't. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. And he might like really stir up your world in order for you to get aboard. But if you don't get on board, it's still going to happen. So you can either jump ship with him or you can, get off and get in the water and just swim by yourself, basically. And as I listened to the sermon, I started backtracking in my life and just started thinking about all these situations and things that had happened. And as I sit here and I tell you about this situation where my emotions were increased and I had a conflict with someone, I actually could see where God was like, you know what, I have a plan, Wendy. You're either going to get on board with my plan or you're going to just have to stay over there in your hate and anger. You can decide, but I'm going to allow this conflict to happen in order for you to decide what you're going to do. And I'm just hoping, Wendy, that you'll jump on board with me. And so, that being said, if there's situations going on in your life that are frustrating you, that are annoying you, that have just increased your emotions, and you want to cry out to God, why this? Why is this happening? I guess my question is, have you seeked God and what He is doing right now? Have you asked Him, God, what are you doing? And have you waited for His answer? And then have you responded and taken yourself out of the way to allow yourself to surrender more to Him?